This list is all about pushing pixels and punching faces. Here are the 10 best PS5 fighting games ranked. Number 10, Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2. Kicking off our list is our most family-friendly entry. Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2 allows players to take control of fan favorites SpongeBob, Garfield, and Danny Phantom and proceed to beat the sponge out of them. Hey, are we sure this is a kid's game? Those familiar with other platforming fighters like Super Smash Bros. And Multiverses will feel right at home, bashing adorable cartoon characters until they fling off the stage dramatically screaming. This may look like a simple clone, but Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2 is actually a darn good time, even for adults. Number 9, DNF Duel. Arc System Works is best known for Guilty Gear and Dragon Ball FighterZ, blazingly fast fighting games which can be overwhelming to watch, let alone attempt to control. DNF Duel is an olive branch to intimidated players, reducing entry level to simple combos that anyone can button mash into victory. However, Arc is a world-class fighting game design team, so of course there's far more complexity once you break down the basics and adapt defensively. If you want to get into Arc's flashy fighters but can't seem to figure out special moves, this is a great place to start. Number 8, The King of Fighters 15. For many years, there were two kings of 2D fighting games, Capcom and SNK. And though those two legendary studios would meet in their own games, SNK has been doing internal crossovers for a long time. Teams of 3 built from the cast of historically significant SNK characters like Terry Bogard and Geese Howard battle it out with their signature moves. The King of Fighters 15 is certainly more technical than some on this list, but its inviting tutorial will make it easy for any scrub to get into the hang of things. Number 7, WWE 2K24. There were many years where the WWE 2K series would not make our list. The ebbs and flows of annual releases have certainly created a distrust between longtime fans of the graps and 2K games. But WWE 2K24 takes the excellent bones of the previous year's game and fleshes it out to a level of in-ring control not seen in any wrestling game previously, balancing the counter system and giving players more position-based move controls, in addition to the gorgeous production values, which makes it the best wrestling game, which as we all know is a form of fighting, on the PlayStation 5. Number 6, Dragon Ball FighterZ. Yes, we're already back with Arc System Works to talk about the single greatest Dragon Ball video game of all time. We all have our personal favorites, but from a mechanical standpoint, nothing comes close to Dragon Ball FighterZ. Simplifying a complex system of moves down to a single button combo was a brilliant way to encourage players into power battles. But as anyone who's watched competitive play can tell you, this game has legs. And that's before even acknowledging the gorgeous recreation of Akira Toriyama's signature drawing style and the frame rate of the animated series. It's still kind of hard to believe it's real. Number 5, Guilty Gear Strive. Back-to-back Arc System Works? What's going on here? Well, let's say you've mastered DNF Duel and your Dragon Ball FighterZ power level is firmly above 9,000. Then you're granted to Arc System Works' most storied franchise, Guilty Gear. And with Guilty Gear Strive, Arc took the frenetic, technical, combo-heavy gameplay of the previous games and built a graphical style that seamlessly goes from 2D to 3D, at least visually. You'll be firmly planted on the second dimension and expected to learn the various method in the game's steep learning curve, but once you've got a few moves under your belt, you'll be treated to some of the coolest visuals on the PlayStation 5. Number 4, Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate. Mortal Kombat 11 certainly launched with some controversy regarding the way players were able to access content, but with the Ultimate Edition, these worries were put to rest. WB's gory fighter has seen it all, from United States congressional hearings to stage shows, films, comics, and even the world of techno music. Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate's story isn't shy about its inconsistent history, celebrating the quirky franchise in a time-traveling adventure that quite literally involves rebooting the universe. You're getting 37 playable characters and years worth of patches, and some very nice enhanced visuals for the PlayStation 5. And yeah, it's still really violent. Some things you can't grow out of. Number 3, Mortal Kombat 1. Video games have a long tradition of terrible titles. Exhibit A, Mortal Kombat 1. A game which, despite its name, is not the first Mortal Kombat or remake, but the sequel to Mortal Kombat 11. That's right, the count goes from 9, 10, 11, 1. Where the heck does this thing go on the shelf? But despite this, Mortal Kombat 1 has seen a successful reimagining, which canonically is the result of the events of Mortal Kombat 11 altering reality. Its gameplay too is more grounded than 11's non-stop flash, though it retains all of the blood and guts one would expect of the series. Plus, this one was built from the ground up for the PlayStation 5, so it looks extra good. Number 2, Street Fighter 6. Street Fighter 6 sees Capcom take their biggest risk with the franchise ever, creating two separate control schemes schemes, one which is a simplified series of dialed combos, and the other is a traditional 6-button setup. Finally, players of all skills are able to meet on a similar ground, and the biggest surprise, everyone seems to love it. Street Fighter 6 is the most accessible 2D fighter on our list, and it's also one of the most complex. It simply depends on how far you want to dig into it and learn all forms of the character's movements. But if you just want to spend a weekend goofing off in the game's excellent World Tour single-player mode, you'll have a great time with Street Fighter 6. Number 1. Tekken 8. Look, every game on this list is a winner, and fighting games have long proved that visuals are not everything. But then there's Tekken 8, a game which does nearly everything right from a fighting game standpoint, and also has some of the finest graphics yet seen on the PlayStation 5. This classic 3D fighting game franchise is more about martial arts than fireballs, meaning players will have to master run-on combos, use their momentum, and sidestep danger to have a fighting chance. And those still in the struggle will have a lifeline, as Namco has taken a cue from Street Fighter 6 and incorporated a simplified control option. Not to mention an extensive single-player exploring Japanese arcade culture, a bombastic story mode with outrageous cutscenes, and the game's expert use of the PlayStation 5 storage means everything loads in an instant. Tekken 8's aggressive combat is the best we've seen in a 3D fighter in years, and there's no question it's the king of the Iron Fist. And there you have it. Those are the 10 best PlayStation 5 fighting games ranked. You feeling ready to throw down? Well, while you're at it, why don't you hit some more videos here on Game Rant? We've got a lot more fighting game features, so stick around.